I've been noticing that ever since the 2024 US presidential election, more and more of you have been asking me if I've joined another social media network other than Shitter. And 99% of the time, you've asked specifically about BlueSky. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about social media and algorithms, and I also figure I'd start off by saying that yes, you can find me on a variety of social media networks where I post more or less depending on what I feel like doing. Here they all are: Rebeccawatson on BlueSky, Rebeccawatson on Mastodon, actually Rebeccawatson on Threads and Instagram and TikTok. I didn't join those soon enough. And of course, you can always find my posts and videos at skepchick.org and on patreon.com/Rebecca. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I have a Discord you can join. You should do that. It's fun. So there have been a few recent news stories about social media. First, last week, I watched a John Oliver piece on the US ban of TikTok. There wasn't much in there that I didn't talk about in this video I made back in April. The gist of it is that, yes, it's possible that Chinese authorities could pressure ByteDance to share information they collect about Americans through TikTok. But US companies are already collecting way more data about Americans and happily sharing it with data brokers who will sell it onward to whatever government or organization wants it. The only real update to add is that since my video on it, the law did pass. I'm actually starting to think that our congressional representatives value Mark Zuckerberg's opinion over mine. And so the TikTok ban is looming, with the company currently suing to stay in business without selling to a good, wholesome American company who will also mine our data for evil purposes, but in an American way. But one thing I did learn from the John Oliver clip, though, is that apparently Trump went on TikTok and promised users that he would fight to protect the app if they voted for him. But I think we can probably put that one in the he's probably lying bucket, but who knows? Every day is a brand new reality. We'll see what happens. But I was glad that Oliver talked about this and correctly brought up the behavior of American companies in comparison to TikTok. And it just so happens that a relevant new preprint has dropped from analysts at Queensland University of Technology, a computational analysis of potential algorithmic bias on Platform X during the 2024 US election. Just to reiterate, this is a preprint, meaning it has not been peer-reviewed, so their analysis may be flawed. If you'd like to look it over for yourself, the entire thing is available online, which is always nice. As always, links to everything I talk about in every video are found in the transcript on my Patreon or on Skepchick, but the Patreon is linked in the doobly-doo. Anyway, this paper is about the potential manipulation of the algorithm employed by Shitter, which is also known variously as X or Twitter, or the social media site formerly known as Twitter. It's the social media network that used to be fun and full of scientists and journalists sharing interesting things, and then Elon Musk bought it to stop people making fun of him so much, and now he's first buddy to President-elect Donald Trump, so that's cool. These researchers conducted two phases. In phase one, they only looked at Elon Musk's posts in 2024 and how people were interacting with them through views, likes, and retweets. They found that things were pretty steady from January until July, but specifically on July 13th, they observed a major shift. Musk's posts views suddenly jumped up by 138.27%. Retweets jumped 237.94%, and likes jumped 237.94%. That can't be right. Hey, sorry to butt in. This is post-production Rebecca here. While filming, I realized I'd put the wrong percentage in my script here, and I figured I would just correct it in post after double-checking the study. But here I am editing, and imagine my surprise when I double-checked the paper and realized the authors made the mistake, repeating the results from the retweets in the spot where the likes should be. Mistakes like this happen in preprints, obviously, but this just goes to show you really have to take preprints with a grain of salt. They haven't been through peer review yet. That said, while I'm here, I wanted to mention that this study's results do also match what a Washington Post investigation found last month. The link to that is in the transcript. Okay, back to the video. In phase two, they compared 5 popular conservative accounts like Libs of TikTok and Ben Shapiro to 5 popular liberal accounts like AOC and Kamala Harris. over the course of that same year. They once again found that around July 13th, the Republican accounts, but not the Democrats, showed a significant boost in views, although there wasn't much of a difference between retweets and likes. The authors suggest that this is strong evidence that on July 13th, Elon Musk or his team adjusted the algorithm to promote his own posts. And further, it suggests that the algorithm was adjusted to show more right-wing accounts on the For You page, which shows users' posts from across the network and not just who they choose to follow. So what happened on July 13th? Well, a few things. The researchers note that that's the day Musk officially and publicly endorsed Donald Trump for president. Seeing that Musk is now in an incredibly powerful position in the Trump administration, it sure looks like he made a bet that paid off. There's one major issue I have with this paper, though. July 13th was also the day that someone tried and failed to assassinate Donald Trump for the first time that we know of. The researchers did compare Musk's engagement to that of other users on the platform, and it was significantly different. So, assuming that their statistical analysis is correct, I do think they have good evidence he manipulated things to promote his own posts. But I also think that's a little weird to not even mention the attempted assassination on the same day, which would surely drive people, especially conservatives, to shitter to interact with media that reinforces what they want to hear. Personally, I think this conclusion would be stronger if the researchers made it clear that they took that into consideration and attempted to control for it somehow. I mention this criticism in part because I think that people, myself included, sometimes rue the all-knowing algorithm a little too much. Do these social media networks have the ability to manipulate people's thoughts and actions? Absolutely. Is it the only factor in the spread of misinformation and extremism? No. People also make choices and are also influenced by the things happening in their real lives. Still, I do think we can say at the very least, yeah, Musk probably boosted his own posts. And yeah, that probably did help spread more misinformation and pro-Trump propaganda, since that's what Musk posts almost exclusively these days. Does this mean that it's morally incumbent upon us all to leave shitter? A lot of people will insist that if you stay there, you are contributing to Musk's little fiefdom, and they have a very good point. But as I said, a lot of you were specifically asking if I'd left shitter for BlueSky, and because of that, I feel the need to tell you that this is history repeating itself. Let me be clear, I enjoy BlueSky. A lot of my old pals are on there. I have entire feeds of different kinds of scientists. It genuinely feels like Twitter before Musk. BM. I guess after Musk would also be known as BM Twitter, but I'm getting sidetracked. BlueSky is yet another closed platform run by a company. Just like Twitter and Facebook and TikTok, users of the platform are entirely beholden on that company to not fuck it up. You see, before social media, we had a beautiful thing called RSS. A person could start a blog for cheap, even free. They could post whatever they wanted, and then you could go plug their RSS address into a feed, and it was like early Twitter. Posts in order from every person that you want to read. And depending upon which feed reader you used, you could put them into little categories, like here's all my friends' artwork and photographs. Here are the podcasts I want to listen to, stuff like that. It was glorious. But the difference between that and Twitter was that there was no one controlling that platform. The platform was your own making. This style of consuming content, as it's known now, died thanks to several factors. For one, an engineer at Google managed to make an RSS feed reader that everyone loved, which they named appropriately Google Reader. It even let you follow other reader users to see what they were liking and sharing. It ruled. But as with every other successful product Google creates or purchases, they shut it down. In 2013, they said that though there was a loyal crowd of users still active, the numbers just weren't increasing the way they wanted them to. So bye. Why were numbers not increasing, even declining? Simple. In 2012, Facebook went public and ended the year with 1 billion active users per month. By 2013, Twitter had more than 200 million active users. Unlike the independent web of blogs and RSS, social media networks were incentivized to keep users on that platform. So they rewarded users for posting thoughts, images, and videos right there on the platform. They changed the way people consumed content, used to be called reading or listening or watching, whatever, and they tanked the popularity of blogs and RSS. To be fair, it's not confusing as to why people chose social media. RSS required a tiny bit more knowledge, although in the later years, Google Reader made it very easy to get feeds from sites that didn't even publish their RSS. Facebook just required an email address. And once you were on there, everything looked the same and showed up in your feed, and it was very easy to share and like and comment. Sure, Facebook also lied constantly. Miscalculated about their metrics in order to fully kill off print journalism in favor of video. But at the same time, they and Twitter created these very nice walled gardens that people wanted to walk into and stay. But as Cory Doctorow recently pointed out on his Medium, because again, independent blogs don't really exist anymore, the problem was that once you're in that garden, the owner can do whatever they want, and you have to decide if it's worth leaving or not. For many of us, it just isn't. My blog was doing fine for a decade, but then I realized that I had to build up a following on Twitter to remain relevant. So I did. And now that it's full of Nazis, I need to just hope that people will see my BlueSky username and move over there, where there are fewer Nazis. For now. But this year, BlueSky took $15 million in venture capital from a company called, I shit you not, Blockchain Capital. BlueSky rushed to reassure users that they aren't doing any blockchain shit, but that's not actually my concern. My concern is that venture capital ruins everything. It's even ruining my primary income source at Patreon, where they couldn't just be satisfied running a profitable business that makes creators money. Venture capital means that you now need to increase profits more and more and more year after year, often at the expense of the people who rely upon your service. Cory points out that it isn't the VC that means things are going to go downhill, but the leverage the network has over users who can't leave the platform without a significant downside. Me? I say it's both, but to be fair, Cory is smarter than me, so take it with a grain of salt. I do agree with his conclusion, though. If you want to join a social network without repeating Twitter to shitter history, the shistory, if you will, you need to join the one that puts the onus on the owner to provide a good service and that allows users to pick up and move elsewhere with little to no downside. And that, as of right now, is the Fediverse. That's the social media network founded by and focused on Britney Spears' ex, Kevin Federline. Wait, no, sorry, that's not right. The Fediverse is a collection of social networks that share a protocol which allows for independence while at the same time facilitating communication between them. The closest thing to Twitter related to the Fediverse is Mastodon, where you can pick one of many servers and set up an account and start building your feed. Every server has different rules and standards, and if one pisses you off, you can take all of your followers, all of the people you've followed, all the posts you've made, and quickly and easily jump to another server. Therefore, the servers have an incentive to moderate the way that their users want, or else the users will go elsewhere. All that said, I honestly don't know if Mastodon or any other similar network that prioritizes that kind of individuality will ever be able to compete with something like Twitter or Facebook or BlueSky, which I should note has the potential to join the Fediverse, but hasn't thus far taken any steps to do so. Mastodon is just a little bit confusing, and there are just a few too many options compared to the ease of signing up for one account at one URL and being given recommendations of who to follow. And that's why I'm on several sites. I actually do prefer the look and feel of BlueSky over the client I actually pay to use Mastodon, which is Ivory. And BlueSky does feel more comfortable to me. But I've seen this happen over and over and over again. The more aesthetic, more comfortable option just turns out to be a gilded cage. It's all fun and games until the guy who runs your preferred social media site is using that same site to elect a fascist. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.